Hey everybody, welcome back. So if you guys remember me talking a little bit in the, I believe it was the previous video, what I wanted to do was talk about a webcomic idea that I was going to do for Squirrel God. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, there's a link in the underbar. You guys can check out the video. I was talking briefly about the webcomic there. But what I figured is, that's down the pipeline. That's a little bit later in 2013. We want something now. We want something, kind of touching more about making comics. So what I figured I would do, and as you can see on the screen here, as boring as this is just a document file. What I'm going to do is I'm making a pitch. And the pitch that I'm doing is a franchise that I love, and I've been a fan ever since I was a little kid, and that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Most of my friends that know me know that I just love Ninja Turtles and all that stuff, but it's currently being drawn right now by, I believe it's IDW, and what I'm planning on doing is making a 5-page pitch, sending that pitch to them, and who knows what happens. Maybe you get a job, maybe you don't. What I'm hoping to do would ultimately be, if I could draw Ninja Turtles, I mean, I'd just be jumping out of my pants right now. But I'm not wearing pants right now, so we're going to have to find something else to jump out of. They're also doing this little thing right now where it's like micro series, so it's like little short stories that they're tying in between as the issues come out. So if I were to be able to get into that, awesome. But worst case scenario, if I don't get picked up, or if I don't hear back from them, at least a couple of things are getting done. One, I'm still making comics, which is always a great thing. Two, there are pages that I can post online and somebody else could see it down the road that might lead to more work. And then the worst case scenario is I just become a better artist by learning more things about, the stages of what I'm doing, and maybe help me make my own comics and stuff. So, long-winded intro is done, 2 minutes in. So let's get into it. So, literally, this is going to be a step-by-step going right from right now, what I'm about to show you guys, like how I would start a project, or in this case, a pitch, and then right to finished pages, okay? So, hope you guys find a little something interesting in here. Maybe this might improve your workflow, or you might see something in there where you're like, hey, Jonathan, you're screwing yourself over by doing this. Why don't you incorporate more of this? Because as much as I'm sharing with you guys, I want you guys to share just as much with me, because, if we can all make comics better and faster, that means there's more comics out there for us to consume, right? So anyway, what you're looking at here is something that I learned from, somebody that I look up to ever since, last year and a half ago, Freddie Williams, and what he talked about in his book, the Digitally Drawing Comics, the DC Guide. Was kind of doing something like this, and I started to do this with the Standard, a project that I'm working on. But if you look up at the top here, this is in my, you don't have to do exactly this, but my art folder, and then within my art folder I have comics, and then personal and business, and then, what the project is, so Ninja Turtles. And then what Freddie recommends, well, like what he likes to do is he likes to break all these files or folders down into the stages that he likes to work in. Now, what I found this to be for myself is it's, it makes the chaos controllable a little bit. I'm just going to quickly go through them. The first folder here is docs, like documents, reference, thumbnails, roughs, lines, inks, final, save for web, colors. And then I added one from Manga Studio, since that's mostly what I work in now. This Manga Studio file, probably, I don't even really go into the inks, the lines, or the rough. Those folders, I only really use when I was using it in Photoshop. I'm not going to get into the meaning behind all of that. I just wanted to show you guys kind of how I'm organizing it. So the idea here is, let me just open up the documents. What I did was a very quick plot outline. And let me just open that up so you guys can see it. It's just on the wrong screen there. So it's, this isn't looking beautiful just yet. What I wanted to do was just get the ideas down on paper. I'm a big believer of having a script before you start drawing. Does a script have to be finalized right to the T? No, but it should have an idea of the actions or the plots that you want to have in your script, right? So if you look real quick, I already determined that I'm just going to do a 5-page sample that I'm going to send out there, like the pitch. You could probably do 3 pages and that'd be fine. You don't have to do 5. I just really want to draw Ninja Turtles, so I'm giving myself some freedom here to draw them doing what they do best. So since you still have to be able to tell a story, right? When you're sending a pitch to somebody, you're not just going, here's some really awesome pictures. Those are pinups. Your job as a comic book artist is to tell a story, make it as visually interesting as possible, at least the best to your ability, and you're only going to get better by making comics. So, with any story, you need a beginning, middle, and end. And for all of us that, the most common thing you can think about is I'm sure all of us watched cartoons when we were kids. Think of like a 30-minute cartoon that you might have watched when you were growing up. The first 10 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes, was like the setup, and then the next 10 to 15, 20 minutes was the actual action happening, and then there was a resolution at the end. So, based on that, out of 5 pages, my page 1 is going to be the introduction. What I'm going to show there is the set pieces. Maybe I'll probably show the turtles, maybe show the bad guy. Not quite sure exactly how we're going to get there. And then page 2 to 4 is the action. You know, it's a Ninja Turtle book. This is what I want to sell. Like, I can draw Ninja Turtles. Maybe somebody likes it. And then page 5 is the conclusion, how it wraps up. So, just to give you guys a brief outline of exactly what's going to happen is page 1, I'm probably going to have an establishing shot of New York City. Maybe something bad's happening. Who really knows? Then page 2 to 4, the Turtles are going to be fighting the villain, the Rat King. And I'm a big fan of him. We're going to get into him in a second here. And then page 5 will be the conclusion. They'll probably beat the Rat King. Maybe he'll escape, you know, that kind of stuff. But essentially, when somebody flips through it, the story is, you know, it's set up. Bad guy doing something, heroes show up, deal with it, and then get out there. You don't need to... There's an old saying, it's like, you get the cat up the tree, you throw rocks at the cat, and then you got to get the cat out of the tree. That's your story, right? Keep it as simple as possible. And remember, since... at least in my perspective, what I'm sending here is artwork based in storytelling for comics. It's not my writing ability. It's not my dialogue. There probably won't. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to have dialogue at all in this. If I do in the script and I show you guys the final script, that might just be for me so that I can show expression or something like that. Okay. So if you're doing this for writing, there's a whole nother thing you have to tackle when you're submitting something to basically fill the writing shoes. Something else I like to include here, this is just like the plot outline, like I said, things that I have to include in the pitch. Now, you may have heard people talk about this before. These are things that, you know, I'm sending this to people that probably have never seen my work. And I'm competing with a billion other comic book artists out there that want to do exactly what I want to do, right? So you have to somehow, you know, your style, how you come across has to, I don't want it to be better than people, but it just has to be unique. It has to be yours, right? So, some things that you want to put in there that I don't want to say are going to elevate you above people. These aren't like cheats or anything like that. But what they are, they're showing you your drawing ability. Because you don't know, let's say I do get this or you get the job. You don't know if one day you're going to be drawing, the entire comic is Ninja Turtles running around New York City chasing Krang or something. And every page is buildings. Whoa, that's gross. That's a lot of work. And then the next issue, you might be drawing them at a farm or a carnival. You got to be able to draw that stuff, right? So you got to be able to... I'm not saying you have to have a carnival and New York City and all that stuff in your script or in your pitch, but you should try to have some diversity. You know, give them the editors or whoever you're sending it to something to bite on where they can ask you for more. You know, because ideally you want to just get their attention, right? So some things that I wanted to include in the pitch were obviously New York City, the sewers, the Rat King, Ninja Turtles, and I put this, these are just ideas that were popping in my head. I kind of like the idea of having Michelangelo on a skateboard, at least in a scene. Maybe that's how he shows up. Who knows? Pizza, you know, if I can sneak pizza in there, that'd be great. And then 1 to 2 big establishing shots. So my establishing shots will probably be New York and the sewers. Again, just to show that you can do background work, okay? Like I said up here, 2 to 4 pages of just action. That's going to, like, I don't know how much background I'll really have in there. You know, I want to fill it with, you know, butt-kicking action, but you need to be able to sell where you're at. So anyway, that's the plot outline. Next, in the next video, I'm probably just going to talk about the script, and I'll show you guys how I came up with it, and we'll go through that. Just let me close it up there. So that's that. Now, the next thing that I usually like to do is this reference folder. And I just like to load it with all kinds of stuff that I think will be in the script. And again, I have in my mind what I want to do. I've already talked to you guys about what I would like to get out of it. I know the locations. I know the characters. I'm not world building here. All I'm doing is trying to build a visual reference library in this folder here so that when it comes down to actually going down to thumbnail it, if I need any kind of reference, it's kind of here. And this folder can be as huge as you want it to be, okay? So I just quickly did a Google search for some New York images, some stuff for the Rat King, rats in general, sewers, and then some pictures that I've already drawn. I'm just going to show you guys these as well, you know. Let's move it over here. So, you know, these are just sketches that I've done. You guys are probably, if you guys are following me on Facebook or DeviantArt, I've been posting this stuff for a while now. And why I want to include it all in this folder so I don't have to go through my computer and look for individual Ninja Turtle folders, right? And this is also helping me kind of decide what I want for a style. So, you know, you got a quick Donatello, Michelangelo. This is the newest one you guys probably saw, another Michelangelo. Raphael here. Again, just trying to get some style choices. Now, I'm not going to be coloring this at all. Again, I'm just trying to get a job doing this right here, black and white art. I'm not going in for the writing. I'm not going for coloring. So, you know, these are just, again, references and sketches. Got another Raphael. Now, this here is the picture of the Rat King. He looks so old school and cheesy. I love it. It looks like the one that was on the cartoon. I'm not too familiar if he was in the old school comics. I want to say he was, but I wanted an idea for like his costume and stuff. So this is just a very quick sketch, basically going from the design there, and then I'm kind of redesigning. I'm making him much thicker, much bigger. Here's a picture I did at work where you got the 4 turtles on the left and then the Rat King on the right. And really quickly what I was trying to do here, and this is, again, nothing new. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I've seen tons of people give the turtles character, you know, like on the very far left we got Leonardo. He's the normal looking one. Donatello, most people give him like a thinner look, maybe a little bit of a bigger head because he's got the brain. Raphael's all hunched over like Wolverine, you know, he's just pure muscle. And Michelangelo, he's kind of like Wolverine, but I don't want to give him a belly, but he's one that eats the pizza, right? He's one that just loves that pizza. And maybe kind of like make him look more relaxed. You know, he's the party guy, whatever they all like to say. So I got the 4 kind of distinct character designs down there. And then the Rat King on the right, I just made him beefy. So he's, if you look, he's in, like, there's nobody else that looks like him. So he can stand out. And, you know, when you put little rats on him, it'll look pretty cool. And you get pretty cool effects that way too. But anyway, I'm going to go with you guys in another video showing you designing these characters. Just kind of like something that I like, you know, something that's really jumping out at me. So that's those ones. Now again, real quick, I know most of this probably doesn't matter, but I just want to show you guys too. Again, I just quickly went through Google, just typed in New York, Bronx, Brooklyn, alleyways, all these things. I might not necessarily use any of this, but this is helping me place things in scenes and stuff, right? So if I know they're going to fight in an alleyway that might crash and explode into a sewer or something like that, you get some cool lighting and stuff. You know, maybe that might be the establishing shot. Most people know right away. Who knows? Maybe that's the establishing shot. You know, just ideas to help you later on when you get down to actually drawing and working in this stuff. So I think we're getting towards the end here of just, you know, New York. Then the next thing I did here was rats in general. This is pretty cool stuff. Like this right here is kind of things that I'll be really looking into, is trying to get some motion and stuff. This one's, I feel really bad about that rat. He looks like he's having a rough time. But even though, you know, like your empathy might kick in and go, yeah, it's a disgusting rat, but he looks kind of beat up. The Rat King, you know, this might be the rats that are around him, you know, like he makes him look evil. They probably don't, this looks cute as hell, but this looks like a villain rat. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to have that distinct stuff. Again, just shape some mouths, some poses and stuff. I wanted some teeth because, let's be honest, most people don't like rat tails and teeth. This guy looking all sneaky and devious. That little snake tail. This is what I'm talking about. Party town with the rats. You know, what it looks like to have these things. And again, this is just reference you can have so that when you go down to actually do the work, again, you guys will see what we're talking about. What else do we got? Sewers. I won't go into that too much. You guys already understand what's going on. Thumbnails are going to be what we do after the script. Once I have the script, I'll break it down to a thumbnail level. And then we're going to jump right into Manga Studio. And I believe that's about it that I wanted to cover in this video. Anyway, so hopefully you guys are interested. You guys can see where we're going. This is basically how I would start any project I do. Whether I'm gathering reference online from Wikipedia or something, I just dump in the reference file. If I find an image or color palette that I really like or want to play around with, boom, dump into the reference file. Documents, once the script is getting to a point where it's solid and final, then we can start getting into thumbnails. Personally, I don't like going into the thumbnail stage at all until I know what the script wants. Okay, so anyway, stay tuned for the next episode. Like I said, we're going to get into the script, kind of like what I was breaking it down. I will probably write it as if I were writing it for somebody else. That way it's easier for you guys, because I do like to do a lot of shorthand when I do my own personal scripts, because I'm the one drawing my own stuff. So unless I need a note or something, it's pretty messy. But I'll try to clean it up for you guys. And again, the dialogue, there'll probably be like no dialogue unless it'll just be like cues or something, just so people have an idea of what's going on. And then from there, we'll get into character designs, then thumbnails, and then literally opening it up into Manga Studio, getting some pages knocked out. So I hope you guys are interested. Hope you guys stay tuned, and please leave comments if I'm missing something. If you guys wanted me to touch on something, maybe I can do like a 1.1 video just addressing things that I didn't talk about in this one. So anyway, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. If you guys wouldn't mind sharing the video, liking it, subscribing, sharing with your friends, that'd be great. And until next video, take care. Keep reading comics, keep making comics, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.